I did this program. I was able to triple my income in such a short time frame that I wanted to see that for my friends. I want to see that for my family.
All right, fantastic. So tell us your name and what do you do for a living?
I am Shade Reed, and I'm a senior consultant.
Fantastic. Where do you work?
I work for Applin.
Applin, David Applin Group? Nice, nice. What do you do with David Applin? Tell us, that's the recruiting company, right?
Yes.
So what do you do with David Applin?
So right now I'm working with them as a consultant. So basically helping them to develop strategies for implementing new systems and improving their existing system.
What kind of systems are you working on?
Specifically right now it's Salesforce, mainly Salesforce Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and Sales Cloud.
Yeah, because Salesforce is huge right now, right? Everyone, like, there's people who are transitioning to tech and they only learn Salesforce. Like, tell us about that. Why is Salesforce so huge right now in your opinion?
I think one of the reasons Salesforce is the largest CRM company in the world. So there's a lot of revenue there. There's a lot of jobs there.
Gotcha. What's a CRM?
A CRM is basically a customer relationship management tool. So it helps you to track your customer information, track customer data, helps you to get through like a customer care process easier. Like if a customer calls into your business, you can, pull up their information faster. You can save their information for future orders, and it just makes the process more efficient.
Gotcha. So you're helping David Applin, the Applin Group. I keep calling David Applin because I think I had a few relationships with them in the past. I think they used to be called David Applin.
Yeah, they kind of switched over their name now to Applin.
Yeah, gotcha. So this is the Canadian company, right? And they're a huge recruiting firm. So interesting, they help people get into jobs, but they have their own business processes and systems and stuff like that, right? And so you're implementing Salesforce at the Applin Group. Got you. And so I'll talk more about that. Let's talk about what you were doing. Like, tell us about the last few roles you had before this Applin role as a consultant.
Yeah, so I worked for Kennard as a senior BA. I worked for Bounteous as a senior project manager, and numerous other companies that I work on contract for as a BA.
Got you. And so and all these jobs, this was business analysis, project management, so more in the tech space, right? What were you doing before you got into that?
Before I got into tech, I was a customer care representative.
You're doing customer care, right? Yeah. So how did you get into your first business analyst job?
Well, so the story is, so I got laid off from my customer care job, and I was just at home.
During COVID?
No, it wasn't during COVID. I think it was before COVID.
Gotcha, okay.
And I have a friend, and he was telling me about his friend, which was you. He was like, my friend does this course. I think you should take the course, give it a try. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I know I was just home one day and I was bored, and I'm like, let me call him and ask him about his friend and see what's going on. And then he gave me your number, and I called and we spoke, and I think I started the course the same week. It was a Friday. Yeah, the business analyst course the Friday, and I did the course. It was 6 weeks, 6 or 8.
It was like 7. I think it was 7 weeks now. Now it's not.
Yeah. So I did the course, and 2 months after doing the course, no, it wasn't 2 months. I started 2 months, but I actually got the offer within a month. So it's a month after finishing, I got a BA job at a medical company, MeshMD.
Yeah, MeshMD, guys. You did MeshMD, Kennard, Bounteous, and now you're at Applin. So all these 4 companies in what time? But you took the course in 2021 when we launched. You were in the first cohort at ScaleHat in February 2021. That was a legendary cohort. It was 6 people. It was you, Tony Abiola, who many of you saw in the other video where he's now with the Raptors, Tyrell, Raul, and then Shebu. So it's 5 people in that cohort. This was the first ever ScaleHat BA cohort. And everyone in that cohort just went and started killing it. You were the first who set the ball rolling. Yeah. Shade was actually the first person who validated that what we're doing at ScaleHat was going to be huge, because it was the first cohort, and you were the first person in that first cohort to get a job. Everyone was like, whoa, you got a really good job in 1 month after the training.
It was a record.
Yeah, that was amazing. And we gave you an award. We gave you an award for a number of things you did. We'll talk more about that. But tell us, how were you able to transition from doing customer care? Because tell us the difference. What do you do in customer care, and what did you do in your first BA job?
Well, in customer service, it's very repetitive. A customer might call in and let's say you're working at, for me, I was working at an appliance company. So the customer is just calling in, where's my delivery? What time is the driver coming? So stuff like that. And I'll just look in the system and tell them. A BA job, it's way different from that in the sense that with a BA, you're interacting more with internal and external clients. You're talking with stakeholders. You're understanding their needs. You're doing documentation. Sometimes you will be doing a bit of testing with the QA team. I think that for me specifically with a BA job, I just felt like I have more purpose. It was very exciting for me and I loved it because people would come to me like, Shidi, what are we doing today? How is the document going? How is this going? And I would be able to answer. I would be able to tell them. Or I'll be like, this requirement is not going to work. Here are the reasons why it won't work. And I have more of a voice and I feel like I have more of an impact in the company, in the project, and I loved it.
Yeah, so you moved from doing operations to customer service. You were doing customer service with who? What company?
CAS, Canadian Appliance.
Got you. So you're just taking calls, customers have issues. So it's more reactive, right? And it's more repetitive. You're dealing with similar issues across different customers, right? Whereas as a BA, what was your company? What was the first project or the first couple projects? Like what were you implementing?
Well, so at MeshMD, so they're basically a SaaS company within the healthcare space. So it was an internal product. It's a patient enrollment portal, and the portal helps doctors to enroll patients to get specialty type medications that are not readily available within a pharmacy. So we're working with like Pfizer, Novartis, Merck, BMS. So we help them to develop a patient enrollment portal. And then that portal will send the information over to a patient support program who does the funding, and then it goes back to the pharmacy.
So you're building out this portal, you're a BA building out this portal that helps with the process. So you're solving this business process and automating it with technology. So that was your first project-based initiative from just doing operational repetitive things. Like, see why you would like that more, because you were able to influence the outcome versus just the same. You know, when you're doing customer service, I forgot my password, it's the same solution all the time. Like, I'll reset your password, and it's the same close-ended loop. Whereas when you're building out a new process, automating something, you can take it anywhere you want. You know, it's all about what the customer needs, and it evolves over time. So that's great. So you transition. How did you actually make that transition? How do you sell yourself from your customer service skill set into now the BA job the first time?
Well, it was 100% because of SkillHat, because when I enrolled with SkillHat, I learned the whole BA role, what they do, the processes involved, what you can expect in your day-to-day. And once I learned what the role is, I was able to get help with my resume from UMO. At the time, it was just you alone.
Yeah, just me and my wife, Debbie. And nobody even knew she was there. And we were just boyfriend and girlfriend at the time.
Exactly. So I was able to get help with my resume. We also did like a few mock interviews, and we spoke about, you know, what you should say, how you should say it. And I just went to Market. I just went on there, just mass apply, and yeah.
It's not that complicated, right? A lot of people overcomplicate it and they're scared to put themselves out there. But one thing you had was you had confidence.
I
respect your confidence.
I did.
You hear that? Because I remember I was on vacation, right?
I know.
I went to get married.
You were on your honeymoon.
Yeah, I was on my honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
And then you were DMing me on my honeymoon. I'm like, yo, that's cool. I got you. And then you're like, yo, I got the job.
I know.
I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm like, when I come back, we'll set this up.
We'll do it. Yeah.
Within a month. Like, I went away for 3 weeks. And then by week 4, you're like, yeah, I got the offer. Yeah. That was dope. How did you feel when that happened?
Oh my God, I was so shocked. When I saw the email come in, I was just there sitting looking at the email like, what? Wait, I just could not believe.
How much were you making before, and what did you increase your income to?
Well, at the time I was making around $35,000 and in my customer service job, and I basically doubled it because I started making around 70, 75.
Yeah. And I remember when you got that first offer, right? They were going to give you like 50K. And I was like, yo, okay, you went from 35 to 50K. I don't know. That's like over 50% increase. Like just under 50%. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's start. And you're like, no. Tell me more about what gave you that confidence to like negotiate.
When they made the first offer, I was happy about it, right? But then I was thinking to myself, if I get an offer, that means I can get another one. So I maybe not have to accept this one. I could probably just do the same thing and get another one. And
where did that confidence come from?
Maybe maybe let's negotiate. And I'm like, what's that? And you're like, let's negotiate the pay. And I'm like, okay. So I just go back and ask for more. They're like, yeah. This is the email. So I remember we composed the email, we reviewed it, and I sent the email over. And they got back and they were like, we don't know yet, we don't know. And I'm like, okay, then no worries. Thank you for the offer. And then they came back and they're like, okay, it's okay. Here's it. Here's what you want. And I remember I think I wanted 65, and then they added another 5 on it. I don't know, like, what?
So you got the offer for like 50K, ended up at 70. So you negotiated over a 24-hour period, right? And you made $20,000 extra. So guys, negotiation is the fast way to gain value. That extra 20K that she made just by sending one email in 24 hours, if you had to work for 20K, even if you made $50 an hour, that's 400 hours you have to work.
I didn't know that at the time. I was so shocked when we negotiated and I got the raise. I was like, wow, people do this? I didn't know it was a thing, to be honest.
So when you took the BA course, what did you learn and what did you enjoy learning the most in general?
Oh my God, I enjoyed the whole course. I know that sounds a bit cliche, but my friend who recommended me to the program, I remember we used to tell him, oh my God, I love this. I'm learning about communication. I'm learning these skills. I'm learning how do you do testing, QA testing. I actually loved every bit of it. My favorite part, though, I would say, is when we were learning about the different methods that you can use to do a requirements gathering, like whether that's interview, whether that's a focus group, whether that's a workshop. So I really loved that and I enjoyed it because I like to talk. So
yeah, and I remember you said you loved the prototyping part as well. Yeah, you designed a really good prototype for a baby app in a short time. I was really impressed.
I was so impressed with myself too. When we got that, I was like, wow, so we do this? This is just so cool. And I thought it was good. When you see it, you think it's something so hard to do, but it was very easy. The system that we used to create it was like really simple to use. It was all like, yeah. I think one time we were using Draw.io.
Draw.io for process mapping.
Yeah.
Right. Good. So then you came back for the project management course. And I think that was key for you. Why did you come back for another course?
Yeah. So I'm always looking for ways to maximize, my cash flow.
Got you. It's all about the money.
And so I saw where I could go with the BA. And then once I got into like the project environment, you see a PM, you see QAs, and I'm watching my PM and I'm like, oh, wow, I really like what he does. I like the BA role, but I also like what he does. So I'm like, Mo offers that program too. So I'm going to go try it. And I remember I did the PM course. And what was very key is I was working for Knark as a BA. And I remember as soon as I was certified as a PM, I went to my boss and I'm like, hey, I'm a certified project manager now. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah.
Because you got the PMP after you took the PM course, right?
And I'm like, I want to work as a consultant. Because I'm a BA and I'm also a project manager, I can do both. So working as a consultant will give me that opportunity to combine my BA skills and my PM skills, maximize for it will be good for you, the company, and also me, myself, because I get to keep these two important skills. So, and the salary raise was crazy.
So then you went up, what did you then go up to at that point as far as income?
It was almost like a 60% increase.
Wow. So do the math, right? This is what the value of adding value to yourself, education. It's the highest ROI you can find, right? There's no stock you're going to invest $35,000 in and in 4 months get 70K at the same low amount of risk and then keep going up to making 6 figures over $150,000 a year after that, right? Just to understand, what did you learn in the project management, the Azure project management course? What did you learn on top of the BA course when you took that course?
Well, for project management, I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about just the project management lifecycle, because as a BA, I'm more so focused on the requirements and gathering my requirements. And once that process is done, I'm kind of a bit out of the project. But with a PM, you're looking at a holistic level. So you're looking at every phase. And so I learned a lot about negotiating, planning, timelines, risk, scope, and how that, like we learned about the triple constraints and how one will affect the other. So
the triple constraint meaning time, scope and budget, right?
Learning learning how to budget too. That's a big skill as a PM. I didn't know this, but learning all of those skills in the course, and the course also, it teaches you about the different approaches that you can take with the project, whether you're going the agile route or whether you're going the traditional waterfall route. You learn about that a lot, and you see where that play out in the project world. And as the PM, you also, now you're able to decide, okay, with this project, I think we can tailor it to more of a agile approach or a waterfall approach or a hybrid. So you get that knowledge, and when you go into the environment, you're able to make that decision and help your company out.
I love it. Yeah, as a PM, you have to make those decisions. You have to be a leader and tell the team, here's the map, here's how we're going to go to our destination. And to have that confidence to make a decision, you have to know what you're doing. And so I think that you've been able to learn that in a very short time, and that's fantastic. The other thing I noticed is that you referred like 20 plus people to Scalehat after that. After you made your pivot, you kept referring a ton of people. Like, I could call out some names. I remember you referred Fred, you referred
Latoya, Sanika, Chevelle.
And all these people just are killing it. They all landed great jobs. Michael, why do you refer so many people to Scalehat?
Okay, here's the thing. So I did this program. It was in a short space of time, and I was able to triple my income in such a short time frame that I wanted to see that for my friends. I wanted to see that for my family. So I was just there preaching. Matter of fact, I didn't need to preach. I remember when I got my first job, it was around that 60, 70K. They were like, okay, all right. But then when I got the other contract, my friend was like, I'm signing up tomorrow. Like, send me his number. And I'm like, okay, I'm telling you. And that's when everybody started like, Shadi, please. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you.
So you even need to reach out to them. They're reaching out to you. Like, how did they know that you had come up?
At first, it was my close friend. So I remember my friend Latoya, I was telling her, and she's like, when you start making money, then I'll probably look into it. And I'm like, okay, no worries, that's all right. When I landed my first job, it was okay, but then when I landed the contract, the Incorp contract, that kind of like raised.
I think my contract was paying as high as like 60 an hour, 70 an hour. 70 an hour, right? So when you do the math, that's 2,000 hours in the year. For those who don't know, a job paying 70 an hour, you multiply by 2,000, that's 140K a year. That's enough cash to like start not having to worry about money. So how did that feel emotionally for you? Like, not going from making 35K to making $140,000 within less than a year. How did that feel for you emotionally? What happened? What were you able to then do that you couldn't do before?
Wow. So for me, how I felt was just grateful. I was like, oh my God, I owe Mo so much. I don't know how I'm going to repay Mo. I remember one time I was messaging him like, oh my God, how am I going to repay Mo? He's like, just continue referring people. And I'm like, say less. I'll do that. But honestly, I just felt very grateful. I was still just shocked. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes, like, when you open your bank account, you're like,
when that first deposit hits, when you're used to getting paid like $800 every paycheck, $1,000 every paycheck, and now you're seeing paychecks of $4,000, $10,000, $5,000. You're like, this is one paycheck, and it's coming again every.
And it's coming, yeah. And with Apple, it comes weekly. So. Yeah, there was a point in time where I was telling my friends, like, I get paid bi-weekly every week, and the 15th of every month, the 15th and the 13th of the month. So I was getting paid. I can't remember how many times I was going into my account for the month. I was like, well, I feel like every day there's money. We used to like make jokes about it.
What kind of jokes are y'all making?
Just like, big mish.
I think I'm big mish. Blow money fast. You're probably in there with your girls like spray can in the hotel room.
Yeah. Oh my God. I used to do that to my friends. I used to be like, we going out, but it's on me. Don't worry. I'll pay it.
Nice. So you were taking care of the homies.
Yes, I was.
So since you started getting this big bag, what are some of the things that have changed your life? Some big purchases you may have made that you couldn't make before that you're now limited to do?
Yeah, I think when I got my first contract, I bought a car. I didn't have a car before. And I'm like...
You went from taking the bus.
Yeah.
What kind of car did you buy?
I bought a Mercedes.
Never see. Nice, nice. You also, you're Jamaican by background, right? And so you refer a lot of other Jamaicans to Skill Hat.
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk about more purchases.
Oh, let's do it. Let's talk about more. So, let's tell us more. So, what else have you been able to buy since you started getting this big bag?
So I first bought my car. That was like the first purchase. And then I remember we were talking and you were like, Shade, are you investing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking into it. You're like, you should look into real estate. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I should. And at the time I was paying rent. I was living downtown and I remember I was looking for an apartment, a condo to rent. And the realtor said to me, I gave him a bank statement from my salary. And he's like, wait, what? Why you want to rent? I don't know. I just want to. He's like, no. You should buy a property. And so we went on the market looking for a property for me. So I bought my first property.
Nice, congratulations. That's really hard to do, to buy a property as a single person in Toronto.
Yeah.
Where did you buy your first property?
Lakeshore.
Lakeshore. That's a sweet spot. That's the hot spot. It's not like downtown where it's too busy. It's not all the way in Sauga, where Sauga is great too. And it's not in like Hamilton or Niagara where you can't get into the city unless you take the 2-hour train. It's like right there, close to downtown, nice scenic view. How's Lakeshore for you?
It's pretty good. It's kind of cold right now, but I'm sure it will get better in the summer. So I really like.
So you bought, what kind of property did you buy?
It's a condo, 2-bedroom condo.
A 2-bedroom condo as a young woman. That's props. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
it's a pretty
huge
nice
deal.
property.
That's
actually.
a huge deal. So how do you feel like walking into your house? You own your own place now. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. I've also bought a few investment properties as well.
Amazing. So now you're a landlady.
Yeah. Yeah.
Landlord, landlady, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
That's
I
dope.
am.
That's dope. You buy any like Chanel bags or Gucci's, Louis V.
Oh yeah,
You
I
gotta-
have.
you
I
gotta
bought a
splurge
lot.
That's dope because you work hard for it, right?
I do.
And it's your own money. It's nobody else's. No one can take that from you.
Exactly.
I'm very happy about that. And so, as I was saying, right, you refer a lot of Jamaicans to Skill Hat. And one thing I've noticed is that whenever I see a Jamaican applicant, I'm like, this person's going to kill it. What is it about all these Jamaicans that they're doing so well in their jobs? That they always land the job pretty fast and you're just killing it? Help me understand what's going on with that.
I think first, Jamaicans are naturally hard workers, right? At whatever job that you do. And now that you know about this particular job, that you're able to make so much money, we just want to put all of our energy into it, all of our focus into it. And that's what I've seen, like my friends and the people who I've recommended, that's what I've seen they do. They just really put everything in there and they're very confident, right? So they're not scared to go after like the big jobs, maybe like the Googles, the Metas, the Deloittes, you know, they're not scared. So they'll do it. And of course, some Jamaicans will reach out to me and I'll give them that little prep talk like, hey, this is what you do, this is what you do, but be consistent with it. And that's what I find with most of my friends are very consistent. And yeah, we're not going to stop until we get it. Like not getting it is not an option.
I love it. So consistency, ambition, connecting with your network. What else did you say? Focus, right? They're focused. You guys are focused and determined. And that's something anybody could apply. Everybody should apply, you know, as a personality trait, right? It's not that difficult.
It's really not. It's really not. You just got to look at the bigger picture. You just got to look at your future, not what you're doing right now. Especially when, you know how applying it might get a bit demotivating if you're not getting that congratulations, you're not getting the offer, you get unfortunately.
Yeah, we regret to inform you.
Yeah, but you can't care about that. You just be like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna get something, but it's when, you know, I'm gonna get it.
It's not about if, it's about when.
Exactly.
So what's next for you now? What's next for Shade Reid?
A lot, I would say. For me, I'm focused mainly now on just growing my own company. Shade Reid Consulting. It's my Canadian-based company, and I do have a sister company in the US. So it's basically just focusing on growing my US-based clients and continue growing Shade Reid Consulting.
Amazing! Congratulations. We started this journey Feb 2021. We're like in March 2023 now. To see how you've grown so fast in about 24 months is impressive. It's amazing. I'm very proud of you, and congratulations to you on all your success. So what's your final take, your final word of advice for anybody who wants to be able to make a name for themselves, transition to tech, do big things. What's your advice?
My advice is definitely reach out to Skill Hat first. That's number one. And be consistent, be focused, and yeah, just do it. It's really not hard. It's really not hard. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm gonna change my careers. Yes, it can be daunting and it can be scary when you're used to working in a specific industry for like years, and now you're going into this new type environment. But with Skill Hat, you do have a community. You have people who are at that same phase as you or have gone through that. So you can lean on them, you can rely on them and get more information. So I'll definitely just say reach out to Skill Hat and be consistent, please, especially with your applying, and be confident. It's not if you can get a job, it's when you get a job. And yeah, you can do it.
Fantastic. Shade Reed, Daps. Thank you for coming. So you heard it first. You already here. If you want to achieve this type of success, it's within reach. And this is just the beginning. There's levels, right? There's people who are making $1 million a year at Microsoft. I met this guy. He makes $1 million a year, literally at salary.
Oh,
so this is just the beginning for all of us,
you
really.
should introduce us.
I got you. I got you. So hit us up, bookings on Skill Hat. I'll see you book a call with me. I'd love to help you. And just DM tech to get started. Thank you, Shade.
Of course.